ura muri wo muri Zimbabwe bamwita ni kari
nkabari nka Carine nyine nuko
babigiranye
ahubwo utarabona itike ayishake zitarashira na stage azaba ari nshya
ushobora kuba urwaye ugasetsa umuntu
ndwaye cyane pe
The Choice Live.
Bigomba Guhinduka ikaze kuri The Choice Live.
Asante kabisa.
Kubera ikibanza kuvuga muri press conference.
Oya nakandi navuze.
Ijwi barageze kuri WhatsApp.
Oya navuze ahubwo nuko ibyinshi bari banabivuze mugenzi wanjye yabivuze Atha yabivuze Merci nkuko nyine yabivuze nawe
ubundi birayavuze nane byari bugarukeho
ibyinshi noneho birabyura ura muri wo muri Zimbabwe bamwita ni kari
nkabari nka Carine nyine nuko babigiranye
Carine Gahini so birayibandagaho nibyo nari kwibandaho nkavuga ati ariko nta mpamvu gutwara umwanya ya
iki gitaramo nicyo kinini cyo guseka kigiye kuba nyuma ya COVID-19 tuvuye muri guma mu rugo nubwo COVID itararangira mwakizize cy'abafana banyu
abafana bacu cyo twabizeza nuko ni bigomba guhinduka n'ubundi kuva twiduherukana 2019 irangira keretse nabo duhera mu tundi tuntu dutandukanye so ahangaha rero bizaba ari ibintu bishyushye cyane bigomba guhinduka nyinshi n'izindi creativity batumenye no zirahara ahangaha ahubwo utarabona itike ayishake zitarashira
nagira ngo mbabaze rero ni iki gishya abantu bazabitegaho
igishya nkuko watumenyereye pe bihora ari bishya none ukuvuga ngo ahubwo bo bazaze tuhahurire ku cyumweru none bahita tuvuga ati ariko biriya bintu mwakoze byari bishya kuri twe tuvuga ati n'ibindi biracyaza
wenda rikomeye nuko na stage azaba ari nshya
ushobora kuba urwaye ugasetsa umuntu
ndwaye cyane pe kuko nakazi urumva hari n'ukuntu buri mu kazi ukandara ukakajyamo ugakora cyase waba urwariye mu rugo ugakomeza nyine wohereza n'ama-email ariko akazi kagakomeza
kuri stage wakiriye inkuru itagushimisha wakomeza ugasetsa abantu cyangwa wahaguruka wa stoping ukagenda
habaho ikintu cya mbere cyo kubanza gukomera muri wowe mu mutima ukavuga okay ubwo narindi mu kazi kamanze nkasoza then focusing ku bimaze kuba yenda ku nkuru yenda runaka maze kumenya
ariko ikizi ubundi habana no kudatuma ubwo buryo bwo kuyimenya uriho uragabanya das kuko nta telefone sinzi ubwo kuntu byagenze ariko birashoboka
mu buzima busanzwe se mujya mwicara mugasekanya
mugasetsanya ubwacu tugasetsanya
ntago mwagemera nga performance rundi
ntago ariko dutera story cyangwa se turi gukireyana na joke turaseka pe tuba tunishimye cyane
ariko umuntu ashobora kwiga gusetsa akabimenya adafite impano birashoboka kubyiguka bimenya ugasetsa abantu
sinzi ibyo bintu buramerisa abayabigarutseho ariko ntekereza yuko bishoboka ni nk'iby'umupira hari abantu bawiga batari bafite impano ariko kuri ngiye numva bigoye ariko nubwo bigoye birashoboka
yabikora yashobora kubikora agashyiramo imbaraga akirefera ku bandi so bigakunda
ariko harimo akampano kareshya na ntuza ariko karimo
basi bikunze ntago kakura
oya ntago muzi ariko nyine
karimo ntihabura impano nkuko ureba umukinnyi uri gukina football ukavuga ati uyu muntu nubwo agira akoresha energy kabisa uyu nguyu ati uyu nguyu ni ukubera ko yifitemo impano ntago haburamo icyo kintu
muzajya kuri stage mu mwanya wa kangahe nimba barabwira lineup
ntago kugeza ubu ngubu ntabwo turamenya uko bimeze na byiza yuko twe turi ready igihe
cyose kabisa
urumva ntago ari nk'ibyo bintu baravuga ngo barababanjeho ngo ni iki twebwe tuzatuje mu kazi tuzagakora igihe cyose
haba mu mvura haba ku zuba haba bimeze bite twe turi tayari
natangiye urwenya babigira brag none byabaye akazi mu byakira
gurundi urwenya ni brag ntago
biri seriye cyane
urwenya niryo banga niho baruba ruzingiye
ahubwo asubwo mwavuye ryarira
none se muzima busanzwe muri ntago muri seriye
muzima busanzwe
oya nyuma y'akazi turi seriye
abantu se batandukanye gute mu kazi
ku kazi turi seriye ariko neze
nyine kugira ngo babitandukanye neza kugira ngo tuze kubyinjiramo ibyo tubisohokemo gato urumva iyo tugiye kwinjira mu kazi k'urwenya uri kutubona imbere ashobora kugira ngo ntibiriseriye ariko twe tuba turi seriye mu kazi kuko ni akazi kawe ka buri munsi uhemberwa kagutunze gatuma ukora ibintu ukaguka nyine hanyuma ubundi buzima bundi busanzwe waba umudokiteri waba umwarimu waba umunyamakuru wabiki ntago rero umudokiteri wamubwira ngo ntago ari seriye
none se umuntu ushobora kubahuza n'ubuzima bwanyu bw'urwenya akaba yabafata nk'abantu batari seriye mu mubwira iki
ubwo aba ari umuntu wumva comedy kabisa uyikunda ushobora kubona umuntu igihe cyose amubonye like many people abantu turahura agahita aseka n'ikintu kibaye kubera ko urumva mu mutwe aba afite mu gihura ahita afitemo bya bintu byose ukora rero numva
nta garuka batagufata nk'umuntu uri serious ahubwo aba yibutse joke cyangwa se akantu
ahubwo buri ahantu ntekereza gushidikanyaho ubikoreye aho utabigomba kubikorera
cyangwa se mu mwanya utagakwiye kubikoramo
ni ryari ugomba gusetsa umuntu
igihe gikwiye
igihe gikwiye cyo gusetsa umuntu
so far turi muri business igihe yishyuye nyine turamusetsa ntabwo ari juste kugenda usetsa umuntu tu kandi iyi comedy babivuze muri press conference it works on mental health it works on like different things that deals with emotions and what rero ni ibintu bifite agaciro gakomeye rero igihe gusetsa umuntu bitewe nuko arizo platforms zishyirwaho mu gihe bateguye igitaramo akaza bamusetsa mu gihe bagutumiye bamusetsa ariko mu gihe muhuye baba batuba hafi kuko ushiduka yasetse tubitera ibyo birimo kuganira ntabwo rero wagenda igihe wavuga ngo umusekereza keretse iyo watumiye abantu ariko ariyo ari show za comedy umutumiyemo
Seka Live ni kuri 29 mugira
abakunzi
abasheri ntabwo ntekereza ko
iki kibazo rero ikibazo gikunda kuba ari cyiza cyane ariko noneho ahantu tubikundira
kibaza mu kwa 10
mundi neza
nibwo ubundi umuntu nyine
ahita gisubiza yihuse naho gutya
cyangwa katubeye ku cyumweru
duhure uriwe kitubaza
hanyuma umukobwa ubakunda adafite ubushobozi bwo kwishyura tike akubwiye ngo nyishyura tike wenda ya 10 wayimwishyura akaza kureba
adukunda adafite ubushobozi
ntekereza yuko ari abantu benshi baba ari benshi tugiye muri iyo ntuza ariko ngiye duhuye ateye intambwe nta kibazo rwose
nta mutima mubi pe
kimubwira rero abafana banyu kuri 29 Seka Live
ikintu twababwira cyo nuko batagomba kuhabura
ibintu biteguye neza ahangaha turi ni kuri venue kuri M Hotel hagiye kubera Seka Live tumaze kureba ko byose bizaba bimeze byose biri tayari abantu bazaze biteguye guseka
kandi na bamwe bazaba bahari bamwe bahageze turabashimira bari ababonye nawe si ngombwa gushyirayo kamera
haciye n'igihe
babonye ko
ni show ya mbere bayi nyuma ya covid nyuma y'igihe kinini sina covid gusa na nyuma yo kwigenje amaguru make kandi nabwo ntirashira dukoresha nyuma cyane and this is the beginning nyuma ya ibibaho nyine
bibaho nakundi
urumva
yihutaga
buriya kandi yari umuhungu
cyamana yanjye
gutekira ikintu kandi ngo ariko abantu ngo sinzi ko naba bameze
ntabwo yayibonaga
ariko ngo uriya mukobwa anyuzemo mwihangana so karakanyuzemo rero this is the beginning nyuma Seka Live we thinking of Bigomba Guhinduka edition 3 we thinking of other shows za comedy haracyari neza z'abandi banyarwenya ntekereza ko life muri comedy ishobora kugaruka
musetsa abafana mubona ntibasetse byabayeho
ntabwo biratubaho pe ni ukuri kw'Imana
cyetse hari abasakije basetse wenda bikiza ariko barasetse
kireka nimba ari abatubeshye ko basetse
ariko barasetse ariko ntabwo umuntu yakwesha ngo n'amarira amanuka mwana wabashyikiye amarira akarira amarira nakakaza
akamanuka gutya
ese mushaka gusetsa umuntu namwe mugashiduka mwasetse
turi nko kuri stage
twabisetse
muri rihaso rero niho ruba ruzingiye
The choice live irabashimiye
murakoze cyane abakunzi babigomba guhinduka aho muri hose Jafet ndetse na Etienne turabatumiye ku itariki 29
kandi turabakunda cyane
kandi mukomeze mu dushyigikire ibindi byinshi biraje ariko for now turi kuri Seka Live
ku cyumweru
ku cyumweru ngo ababura iminsi ngo tugere ku wa mbere
ni amasaha make
wa mugani
biba byarangiye hanyuma umusatsi. Thank you so much. Yeah, man. So
that's a good question when it comes to the collaboration of comedians and other industries. That's why we don't have only one media house here. We have many. So and the story is going to be the same maybe because there is no way you're going to create your own story from what is happening here. So I think being collaborative, it is a key that is pushing us as the way Arthur raised many of us. Like we are working together, rehearsing everything. We are like working together. We grew together with Mary C, Patrick, and others. So when it comes to the way of having a chance of having our own platforms, we won't take it far from the origin, from the roots that we've been raised in. Yeah, that's the origin, because Arthur has been an example to the comedy industry. For us, we grew up seeing him, referring our things to him. Today we are here. It's a blessing to the comedy industry and to us as individuals. So us as Bigomba Guhinduka, when it comes to working with Arthur Nation, it's like maybe there is no way we can have a big derby in football. We're having only APR. We need Ryan Sports, because if Ryan Sports is not there, what's going to be a big derby in Rwanda? So if we're working as Bigomba Guhinduka, Messi is working, Arthur Nation is there, I think it's something that is growing in different corners. So us as Bigomba Guhinduka, we are very happy to be on this one, on this Seka Live. It's our first Seka Live, and we hope that we're going to bring everything that we have on this one. Because maybe tomorrow Arthur can come on ours, Messi can come on ours, and that's a good thing. There's no way of having things like political parties. Thank you.
One thing I'll add on. You see, the truth is, you cannot have a successful industry without players. That you have to understand. And before, I think the reason why tutavagaho turi, ngira ngo nuko there was a monopoly policy, if I can say that. We were the same people organizing events, performing the same lineup. It was really hard. But now that we have these collaborations going on, how many platforms do we have of comedy right now? There are very many. We have the Com Factory, we have Bigomba Guhinduka, we have the Comedy Saloon. Actually, you know, in Huye, we have Generation Z. Now we even have other platforms, utajumenya. Ziveriyo mutubari, ariko basetsa. And you can never know. But a time will come when they also, you know, reach a level of branding themselves and all that. Now, Seka Live is one of the platform. And to be honest, it will be so sad if we say that Seka Live is the only platform in the country and all that. No. Actually, my thinking, and this thinking came when I did Seka Fest. I think 2019 Seka Fest, if you saw it, I didn't host comedians. I decided to host platforms instead. So I hosted the Comedy Store, Uganda, and then I hosted Basket Mouth as his one-man show that he takes around, Son of Peter. And then I hosted Salvador as his one-man show that he takes around, Man from Ombokolo. And then I hosted Eric Omondi with his one-man show. So you see, when you put together all platforms, it builds back to the industry. And I think that to me is an advantage. But I'll let Merci really and Patrick also add their touch, because they also have a different way they see it. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So for me, I have turned comedy more into, I also come from a hospitality background. So when COVID happened, actually my wife and I moved into a tent to start out a camping business, and then converted a bus into a house and put it in the rural areas. So we work more in hospitality from a rural perspective. So I've gone more into storytelling around a fire. So during COVID, actually, I was doing a lot more comedy around a fire. So traditionally, like how in Africa we tell stories, I would then tell stories to tourists who would come to Zimbabwe around the fire while I cook for them. So it was a different extension of trying to understand this stand-up form of comedy in the context of our culture. Because storytelling has always been something in African culture. Before the microphones and so on, the cave paintings were there. You can obviously see from the cave paintings that it was someone with a very good sense of humor who was drawing some of those cave paintings, right? So this is something during COVID I was doing quite a lot. So it would be quite interesting now going back to, I really miss this form. This would be my first international engagement of comedy this weekend since COVID.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, I think I would love to end on a note. We need people to buy tickets, people. I think I'll be honest with you. At the end of the day, however much we have partnerships, it's still a business that needs to be sustained. So we need people to buy tickets. You might wonder, where is the event going to happen from? When we came here, we actually got a different view of how we want to do the shows. So we're actually going to use the lounge there. The bar is my stage. I also have another center stage. So this lounge that you see all the way that side, and the corner, that is our space. We want to get as close as we could to a comedy club. We don't want to go back into conference rooms because they kind of limit people. People have an expectation of what's on stage. And there is something the GM just mentioned. Even if it's not funny, get a drink or get angry or just come to a show. So there is drinks, there is going to be food. M Hotel is going to have a very, very good menu. Specifically for Seka Live, we are going to have some barbecue outside, meat lovers like me, join in. And another thing I would love to say, we reduced the ticket pricing. I hope you've noticed that. It's at 10,000 and 15,000. This is why. From our learnings, we realized that when people pay more, they don't consume. So we thought, okay, let's reduce a little bit and see your consumption rates. So we'd love to let people know that the ticket now is at 15,000 or 10,000 ordinary. And from what we are seeing online, more tickets being bought are 15,000. And I love that. But let's tell people the tickets are available on rgtickets.com. But of course, we'll also be selling the tickets at the venue on the day of the show. I never advise someone to do that because there are chances to be the only one who wouldn't be happy about me saying sold out. So it will be best if you buy your ticket online. So, because we have a controlled number of people that we are expecting on the show. So those are the number of tickets that we are putting up online. And please, after this formal press conference, feel free to reach out to any of the comedians here. And I know you could have some questions that you want to ask them. But I would personally want to thank Japhet and Etienne. And Etienne hasn't said a thing. And that's why I would love to him say anything. Anything. Let people know you talk. Sure.
arakoze cyane nawe ndagushimiye muri iyi minsi mperutse mu gihugu cy'abaturanyi nkajya nkoresha iringara cyane ariko this time reka mbari yo nkoresha murakoze cyane thank you
haraza kuribohereza kuri WhatsApp. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate. I understand your support, and I feel like after this, the next thing that will go on is how do you enter in the show. I know that is going to be a question. So Klepi, I think Klepi is going to deal with that on how we get the access to the venue. There will be some terms and conditions, of course. If your partner is not a journalist and won't support in any way of the story that will be written, we really understand. We can buy them tickets, yeah? And if you also feel like, you know what, Arthur, as a journalist, I don't want any free access. Me, I want to buy. Hey, thank you. Thank you, you are the best. Otherwise, thank you very much. Yeah? Yeah, thank you very much. We can easily have the picture that you guys will take on, but I think it's done. Yeah? Thanks a lot, and I appreciate. Now, Seka Live is a monthly event. This is the first event we've done ever since what? Ever since COVID hit everyone. It's the first event that is going to happen in terms of comedy with no masks. At least we could see people who are truly laughing or hiding behind them. And it's also the first event that we are hosting my friend Carl Joshua Ngube. Did I just say it?
Yeah, it's close. It's like
is it? It's kissing Ngube. Yeah. Talking of French, I think it's better. So it's the first time I'm hosting my brother. I met Carl back in Kenya 2017. It was a comedy festival called a Laugh Festival by Churchill. He's from Zimbabwe. And we've been in touch, but recently he said, hey, I'm coming to your country. He had actually come to host another event at Noshkin. And then he said, hey, how about we do an event? And luckily enough, I was already planning for Seka Live. Now, that was a beautiful thing. It's the first time he's performing. I think Loiso Madinga has been here. We saw him in 2019. But he's back. Since then, he's done big things. He's been in a movie called Queen Sono. And it's not that I'm trying to push him, but you need to know he's a big guy. Yeah? So tell people it's a big guy coming in. So when they come, they will be chilling with the big boys. Another thing I would love you guys to note is the relationship that we have started with Merci. Merci is one of the comedians that we've worked together in different events. I started working with Merci, I think, sometime in 2016 there, when you are still in school. But now he's happened to start up his own comedy show called Generation Z. I would love you guys to really take some time, interview him, and get to know more about it. It's a platform we also want to promote. It's not an Arthur Nation platform, and at Seka Live we promote anything comedy. It's going to be like the Academy of Comedy in a way, because all the rising stars are going to be passing through Mercy's event, and then Merci will be feeding Seka Live the rising stars. Now when you see the artwork, you will see that Merci is bringing us 5 comedians. All of those comedians were from his show. And we felt like as Seka Live, we actually talked about this idea with Merci before it started. I'm like, it would be good if you have your own trend. I could easily be tapping into it, because personally, I might not have the time to fully give a platform to a rising comedian, but he does. And also, we didn't want to take risks of putting someone who's never performed before on a stage like Seka Live, someone who paid his money or her money. So we said, okay, let them train in an event that doesn't have a lot of tension, so now they can come to an audience that has a lot of tension and expectations to react. So those are the 3 things. We have a new home, my brother is performing here for the very first time, and we are having a relationship with Merci. We also have Patrick, aka Rusine. He's developed, he's grown. He's one of the best comedians, I'm sure you guys know. He's now doing radio, he has his own shows, but he's also performing on Seka Live, and I would love also to emphasize on the local comics that are going to come. Japhet, Etienne, Dodi, they are also going to be on the lineup. It's actually the very first time that Seka Live is going to have Japhet and Etienne. That's a big thing for us, because they also have their own platform. Them coming on Seka Live, it shows the collaboration that is happening between comedians. Now, that is pretty much what I would love to say. And before I take your questions, so this gentleman doesn't like speaking. But I'm going to ask him anyway, just to say, a few words, mainly on the relationship and collaboration with Seka Live on this. And what made you take that leap of faith, so that they would know. Thank you very much.
I don't think it works.
Yeah, it's for the camera.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know you bring in props. Well, anyway. So I think getting involved with Seka Life was something that originally I didn't plan. But, we've only been around for about 7 months. And I think that we need to try as many things as possible. I love stand-up comedy, and particularly I love African Americans, which I don't understand. So it only makes sense that I start looking at Africans too. And I heard Leiso's coming. I've known Leiso, not known him personally, but I've seen him stand up, and he's incredibly funny. 6'5" guy, always complains about airlines, which I find is incredibly. I love comedians because it's something I can't do. So I appreciate what they bring to the world, and I think we can all use a bit of laughter, to hide that pain that we so often like to remind people about on Twitter and Facebook. So I think bringing Seka Life here is something that was a leap of faith for me, and I suppose for Arthur as well. He doesn't know what's going to happen. I mean, I could get drunk at the event and everything just goes to hell. But at the end of the day, I do believe that we owe Rwanda and we owe the comedians that here, they're trying to get a platform, a little bit of, investment. And I think that why we should not be part of it. If we don't understand something, let's try it. And a lot of people have come to me and they've asked me, so what's going to happen? I said, for the first time ever, you want to plan. Nobody ever plans anything. Everybody just wakes up today, okay, I'm going to do that. I said, well, we don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I have no idea how the relationship's going to go forward. I really just want to enjoy the event for what it is, give the guys a platform, let them make me laugh. And if they don't make me laugh, at least they'll make me cry. Well, it can make me angry. There's a lot of comedy in anger, I suppose. And maybe you'll just get the camera on me and it'll become a YouTube meme. But I do enjoy comedians, and I think that we need to try as many things as possible. We always say that Rwanda is a young country. For a young country, I hear no a lot. I hear it too much. I hear that things can't, there's always a reason why we can't do something. And there's never just, let's try. And if we make a mistake, okay. All right, I promise you, we'll laugh about it the week after and we'll figure it out. And that's the only way forward. It really is. The only way forward is to start giving people with ideas a platform to present those ideas. And that's what we do here. M Hotel is open to anyone who is willing to work with us and continue to work with us to make it the best possible environment for my guests, for the outside customers, and also for business. Because first and foremost, that's why we're also here. So, I thank Arthur, thank the comedians here, and I hope that we can give you guys as much happiness as you give us. And from M Hotel and from the staff, I think everybody's excited to see the unknown. What can we do with this event? And then everyone's going to come and try to do a comedian show afterwards. That's my goal. That more people want to get involved with this, and all they want to do is follow. They don't want to lead. And I think that's where M Hotel is pointing at. We don't want to be part of the industry. We want to take over the industry. And if we're not willing to put a little bit of time and effort into comedians, something that I love, then what else are we going to do? What are we going to do? Nightclubs and parties, and we're going to do everything else that everyone does all the time, and they do it over and over and over again. And nobody's looking at other aspects of entertainment. Because I promise, I actually think now that it's more important to speak as recklessly as possible. And there's nobody that does it better than a comedian. Because we all need to start figuring out what it is that we believe in. And I think comedians have got that to a point. And maybe it's something that also comes from the current media that we see about comedians being victimized for the things that they say. And we forget it's just a joke. It's a joke.
We're being slapped.
Yeah. Well, you like being slapped, so it's not you. But I think that it comes to a point where having to listen to someone who actually has something to say is important. Why do we listen to politicians? We should start listening to people who actually have a genuine understanding and listen to their life experience, and we can learn from that. And I think that's what comedy brings to a lot of people, besides the laughter. It's a little bit of, I never thought of that. And I think that's great. So that's me, and M Hotel looks forward to welcome everyone on Sunday to Seek Alive. And I think it's going to be a great event. There'll be ample of alcohol, so even if it's not, at least you got that. But I'm sure it's going to be. I think that everyone's going to enjoy it. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Rwandan comedians.
The Choice Live.